At some level, it's ultimately about hierarchies and organizations, right? Every society has hierarchies and organizations. It's one of the hallmarks of civilization, right? But everybody's hierarchies function differently. Right? Some of you, I'm sure, have been to Japan or Germany, right, or India, right? And you've encountered organizations, bureaucracies, hierarchies there. Right? And my guess is, certainly this is how I felt, they felt very different from how our organizations work. Right? I can remember standing in the Japanese Foreign Ministry when I was about 26, 27, and just being absolutely baffled at how their foreign ministry worked. Right? It did not feel at all like how the U.S. government felt, not in any way, shape, or form. But you know what? It worked for them. Right? It was their system. It worked. Their culture told everyone how to behave in the hierarchy, right? How do you behave when you're at the top of a hierarchy? How do you behave at the bottom? How do you behave toward your superiors? How do you behave toward your subordinates? How do you behave toward your peers? That's what cultures do, right? But everybody's culture is different. And the problem that the Arabs have had over the last 70 years is that industrial age warfare demands a bottom-up hierarchical organization. Right? That's what the Germans figured out first. You want to know why they did so well in World Wars I and II? Because they figured this out. For those of you who know the German term Auftragstaktik, right, mission-oriented tactics, or mission-oriented orders, excuse me, this is the idea behind it. It's the guys at the top, they give general orders to their troops. I want to move in this direction. I want to envelop these forces. And they leave it to their subordinates, to the middle managers, the junior officers, to figure out how to take that hill, how to defeat this enemy force, and then when they're waging the battle to determine at the spur of the moment how they're going to fight. Right? So it's a tremendously bottom-up process. You want to win in industrial age warfare, you have got to be great from the bottom up. Your junior officers, your NCOs, your middle managers, they have to be terrific. They have to be flexible. They have to be able to take responsibility and make decisions on the spur of the moment. And their guys higher up have to recognize it and be able to help them, support them, react to it. The problem that Arab society has had is that their culture calls for a very top-down hierarchy, where all orders, all guidance, all ideas flow from the top down. Right? And the guys at the bottom, they are not supposed to think for themselves. They are not supposed to be making decisions. They are supposed to wait until they get orders from the top. And if they don't get those orders, they sit and wait and don't start taking action on their own. And that's what you see time after time after time, battle after battle. One of the things I do in the book is I point out this is the same set of issues identified by the Arab Human Development Report. Some of you are probably familiar with those. Series of reports put together under the auspices of the United Nations, but over the period from 2002 to 2016, written by huge numbers of extremely talented and able Arab experts and academics who all recognize the same set of problems has also been hindering the Arab world in the equally competitive activity of international economics. Right, where the Arab world has not developed the same kind of entrepreneurial and innovative industries that the West and East Asia have, and they're allowing them, and now South America as well, allowing them to dominate the international economy. Right? And I also look at non-military organizations in the Arab world, right? Whether it be factories or banks or bureaucracies, right? And you see the same issues again and again, because again, this is how Arab society has organized itself. And it's perfectly natural. It makes perfect sense for them to do so. Right? And again, in their own context, it works for them. The problem is it doesn't work in industrial age warfare. Right? It's not the most efficient way to do so, and especially when they come up against another military that is capable of functioning the way that industrial age warfare requires, they lose, and they lose often very badly. Right? The Israelis are the polar opposite. They are the ultimate bottom-up society. Right? They are bottom-up to a fault, to the point where the junior officers typically don't even listen to their generals, right? Which can create its own problems. But it is one of the reasons why the Israelis have beaten the Arabs so handily, especially in tactical engagements, time after time after time. And same thing for the United States and for other countries. Again, even you look at Chad, and one of my cases in here is looking at the Libyans fighting the Chadians. And what you see is that the Chadians, too, just naturally, it is their culture. They are very aggressive. They are very bottom-up. They are incredibly flexible. And the Libyans are the exact opposite.